Hey, so 9 months in London. A little crazy to think about that I've been here for 3/4 of a year at this point. Weird. But just kind of, so the month of April, pretty cool month. And so as I think I talked about last video, I had finished my core classes. I was moving on to the elective period. And so during the first 2 weeks of April, I had my first two electives, which were leading teams and organizations, and then pathways to startup success. So I had both of those classes in the beginning half. So my entire life for those 2 weeks was waking up, getting to class around 9 or 8:15, and then finishing up around like 4 or 5. And then after that, focusing on doing the homework that I needed to do or the reading, and then being completely exhausted because I don't know what it was, but having like 6 hours of class where you have to pay attention is extremely draining after a week, and in 2 weeks you're dead. I find it harder than going to work, which is weird, but did that. Ended up being some of the best classes I've ever taken. The Pathways to Startup Success may be the best class I have ever taken in my entire life. It was so good. Just because like the material that we're going over was so interesting and just so engaging, and like I had no reason to not full pay attention because we were learning really practical and useful things. And so while it was really aimed towards people who wanted to start a startup, it also was great for people who didn't really know if they wanted to or not. And so in the process, like I learned a lot about, should I start like my own startup? Should I do that? And it was so interesting to kind of hear the unpolished, non-glamorous look at things and see like it's really tough. And this is the reality of the situation of making your own startup. So I just really appreciated it. Just learning basically all the critical things you really need to know about making a startup, and then learning from the other people in the class who have started startups or are in the middle of it or have sold off a startup. It was just a giant learning experience, and learned a ton about business from that class specifically. And then leading teams and organizations was really interesting because I learned a lot about the different styles of leadership. That's probably the biggest takeaway I had, and the different methods that need to be capitalized on in different situations. And I realized that I predominantly rely on 3 different methods, while the other 3 of the total 6 I don't really use at all, and how it's important to make sure to use that throughout the process of just the different situations that come up. And so throughout that class too, there was a lot of called MBAs, which are executive MBAs in the class, who were incredible to talk to and listen to and learn from because they have so much experience. And so us being, kind of early careers, we don't as much. And so hearing how they led, or just seeing how they led and learning from how they do stuff, was extremely useful. And becoming friends with them, and then them testing you. I got put on the spot a couple of times, and I had to learn how to act quickly in situations whenever it happened. But another great class, just learned a ton. So then it kind of opened up, and I had a lot more free time to kind of do more stuff. And so one of the weekends was Easter, obviously. Easter, so I obviously did not go home to Texas. So I spent it over here in London. And so my friend from Texas, my friend from the hometown Texas, who I've become really good friends with, who lives here, I spent it with her family, and it was just so nice. Just having a family to be with for Easter, and then having lunch, and then going to the park, because the weekend was literally perfect. It was probably the best weather since I've been here in London. It was in 70s/80s, and just for the weekend. And then now it's been down to the 50s and 40s again, and it was just like that before. So we had this one little nice weekend, but it was a beautiful weekend. Ended up hanging out with my friend's brother, who's in town as well, and who I've also known for a long time. So just hanging out with that, it was really fun and a good Easter. And then one of the other kind of big events that happened was the Magic tournament, which I went to by myself with 0 cards. So very different than how I've normally done some of these tournaments. But so I signed up for the main event, which was the sealed, which is basically open up 6 packs. From the packs, you make a deck and you play other people who also did the same thing. And I felt, I felt good going into it. And my cards were a lot better than the first time I've done this. So I was, feeling confident. And then I went 1 and 2, and I had to drop because I can't make it any past the next round. So both of my opponents pulled these really, really, really good cards, are also really rare, and I just couldn't do anything about it. But I played well, so it was a good learning experience. But it was a little rough. But it was also really cool because that weekend was also something called the Pro Tour, which is where all the professional players play. So I got to see in person and meet some of these giant names in Magic, and just seeing how they played, watching their style, and talking was really cool. And then I talked to one of the head designers for the game, but he really didn't talk. It's a little socially awkward, but it was interesting just kind of seeing how he played and his style, and I really wish he would have talked more, because I really tried. Carrying the conversation, but it wasn't great. But oh well. But it was really cool having the opportunity to just sit there with some of these guys that make the game literally, and just kind of hear what they talk about or what they say. But the weekend for Magic wasn't super successful. Then I played in a draft, which is the format where each person has 3 packs, opens up 1 pack, takes 1 card, passes it, and then does the same thing the other way, then the same thing the other way. So everyone picks 1 card from each pack. It makes a lot more sense whenever you watch it. But played in that, lost in the first round, single elimination. So I did terrible. So Magic-wise, I was garbage the entire weekend. So if I really want to, try to take this seriously, obviously I have to take it seriously for me to have any type of good result. So other than that, washing machine's going off in the back. But yeah, April is kind of more just focusing on the schoolwork for the first half, and then more so relaxing and going to school. Not going to school, going to work. And then spending some time with some people. It was really nice. And just, cooking like normal. But, next week and next month is when kind of life becomes a little turbulent again. Because that's when 2 friends from back home are coming into town. We're going to Amsterdam. Then we're coming back here. And then the day later, I'm going to Japan by myself for a week. So spending a few days in Tokyo, a few days in Kyoto, and a day in Osaka. Just going to be doing some things. I go into the fish market, going to the sumo tournament, going to the ruins, going to not the ruins, but the temples, and going to the Nara deer park where the deer bow to you. I'm super excited. And seeing my host family again, which has been 7 years, so it's been really cool to see them. Then going to China for my global immersion field trip. So talking to the businesses that are going to be there, which I'm really interested in, because it'll be really interesting to hear about the Chinese business and how they do stuff, and then kind of just talking to them in general. But that's next month. Mostly going to be traveling, and then it's going to be June where I start my class again, and then I'll be graduating the next month. So really weird, going really fast at this point, because of my more focus on work and kind of meeting people and doing stuff like that. My grades could be a little bit better. No, but it's been good. Grades haven't been that bad. It's been again, I've been more so focusing on learning the material and actually trying to do that. But also learning, I think a big thing you learn, at least I've learned in business school, and then kind of as I've gotten older, is learning how to prioritize different things and realizing when certain things shouldn't take as high a priority. And so hence whenever I left for a week to go to California, and I'm missed a week of school, the value gained from being in California for the week was much higher than being at school for the week. So that's what I've learned a lot of. Don't worry, my grades are not bad, but I'm not getting the top marks in the class because I'm focusing on work and my job in the future and meeting people that are important to meet. But yeah, that's kind of everything. Yes, I guess I will see everyone, or see no one, because I'm looking at a camera, next month, whenever I make another video. I'll probably have a lot of stuff to talk about regarding all the trips I'll be going on. But yeah, bye.